Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to another Kafka video. Today we will be covering how to do a discovery of your Kafka details and then produce an Async API specification based on introspection of your topics and your objects as well as schemas. So this is a very interesting tool created by the SolaceLabs team. They call this project Event Discovery Agent. And if we go over their GitHub page, we can see that this is a project that allows you to discover event streams flowing through your broker. So what this does is they have some different broker plugins, so you can connect with different Kafka flavors, their own PubSub Plus subscription, as well as other different components. And then you can run their application. It's a Java application that then can do a scan through a web interface or either a REST API to be able to access the cluster and then being able to check what is going on that cluster, how many topics are there, and what kind of payload are flowing through those payloads. So in the past, we have been using this VS Code extension that allows you to be able to access some of the information on your cluster. So in this case, I have here a cluster on Red Hat OpenShift streams for Apache Kafka, where I create a cluster called user1 Kafka. And this is just a regular Kafka cluster with 3 brokers and has no topics currently. So I will be sending and creating messages on that topic following and reusing the Kafka Tools extension. So you can download that as a VS Code plugin. So getting back to Apache OpenShift streams for Apache Kafka, I have here my Kafka instance. So I have my user1 Kafka cluster. Then I can click here and then see that there's currently no topic. So I'm going to create my topic name. In this case, I'm going to be following the example available on AsyncAPI.com about the streetlights events, in this case, lightning measure. So I will create this topic name, and then I can set some, say, 3 partitions. Let's click on next. You have different options on configuration of your topic, like retention time. We're going to be just leaving the defaults for this example. And the replicas are by default because of the number of brokers we have. So we click on finish. And in this way, we already have now our topic created. I have already configured access for my service account to be able to use that one to access the cluster, and has permissions to go over the different topics. So that's the account that I will be using for doing the introspection. So as I was mentioning, sometimes, well, you can just explore this with the plugin, and you will see that you have now the topic that you just created, as well as the information on the partitions. So the interesting thing here is that now we can then send events to that specific topic, and then being able to use Solace tool to be able to figure out what objects are there and produce the information on that. So let's create a simple consumer that will be starting and receiving information on that specific topic. And I have my producer here that is just producing JSON output. I'm adding some headers and the example on sending this measurement with lumens and date from when it was sent. So I'm using just the included fake.js function that allows me to just create random data here for these specific values. So then because I'm having selected my cluster here, it will be using that for the connection. So I can just start sending events. I can see that they are now flowing with the values already created by the stuff, and we can see a couple of them flowing through the cluster. So now that we have a cluster with some topics and some messages on the topics, then we can do the discovery. So let's get back to the Solace agent. So in this case, what we have here, it's the agent. What they say that you can do to run it is just clone the project and then start the application. So I have already been doing that, so I can show you that I have already cloned the repo, and I have created the build of this. So if you take a look here, you can see that everything is here. I can then just run this. So this is repo folder, and then if you go into services, you can get a view of the plugins and the POM file for running that. So let's do a run. Jar services, and this is the snapshot jar that I just created after running Maven build, and this will start the application. And this application will be running a REST API, as I was mentioning, as well as a web service on port 8120, and this will load the application with the main dashboard, where you can select what type of scan you will be able to do. So as I was mentioning, there are different flavors of Kafka, providers in the cloud, as well as other type of messaging brokers like HabQ, RabbitMQ, and NATS. In my case, because I'm using Red Hat OpenShift Streams, that's just a simple, normal, regular Kafka cluster. So I will use and select the Apache Kafka Discovery. For the name, I'm just gonna name as the name of the cluster that I have, and then for the host, I will select the host for my Kafka cluster. If you don't know how to get it, it's available on your Kafka instances. You can just go here and then check on the connection details. You can just get the Bootstrap server where you will be able to connect. So that's the information I'm going to be using. So the port, it's 443. The authentication, we are using just SASL plain, and the admin username and the consumer username is going to be the same. So I will paste both admin and consumer. The account has the privilege for both. Remember, we are using OpenShift Stream, so it's using TLS authentication. So here's a catch. Even though OpenShift Streams is using a trusted certificate from a trusted authority, we still need to download that certificate and include that in a trust chart, because the current application here from Solace, they require this to be provided. So I will just did that. I just created a trust store with the information on the certs, and that's the one that I will be using for this. So this is my path for my true store. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything on the connector side. I will select that I want to scan for all topics, so I know exactly how many topics are there and which ones are available, as well as the payload. So now that you have everything in your configuration, then you should be able to just press start scan, and it will do the connection to the cluster, doing the introspection, analyzing the payload that is available on your topic, and then being able to retrieve that information. Start scan, and then it will start scanning for topic subscriptions. But now your scan is complete, and you can just close the information, or you can download the results. So if I click on download results, this will download a JSON file that contains the results of this scan, and I'm just gonna open that in my VS Code. So you can see it's a JSON file, but it's very difficult to see it here in VS Code. So let's go back to so I have this studio.asyncapi.com. It's the Async API Studio, where you can just create your own Async API specification, or in my case, I'm just going to be using that for validation and rendering. I will paste here my specification that just download from the Solace application, and you can see here that now it's rendering the information. So I have my user one Kafka name of discovery agent results. I can see that there's one channel where you can publish the light did measure, and you can see now here you can see the payload for that topic. In this case, it's the lumens and the sent at information. The lumens are just a number, and sent at it's a string. And well, you can see some examples auto-generated. You can see also the schemas. And one interesting thing, they already have also a visualization tool, so you can visualize the topics and your application. So you can see now this is how you can get information on your Kafka broker. So you can just run the discovery, check what are the different topics. As remember, you can select which topics if you know exactly how they are named. So you can scan for specific topics, or you can just pick everything on that and then being able to get that information. Now with the AsyncAPI specification now in place, you can use that for doing mocking and testing using Microcks perhaps, or just sharing around for other tooling for providing new consumers and producers. So this project's very interesting project. Thanks to the Solace folks that are sharing this with everyone in the community. So give it a try and let me know what you think. So thank you, and see you next time.